Hi there, welcome. Today we're going to talk about the impact of the new Apple operating system, iOS 14, and the impact it has on everything related to advertising, and especially Facebook ads. Now, if you're a marketer and you haven't heard this news, you've probably been living under a rock. But anyway, here are the short recap of why it has an impact and what you need to do. So basically, this is the story. We're caught up in a massive fight between huge monsters. Some of the world's biggest companies are fighting a battle, and on one side you've got the advertisers, Facebook, but also Google, and on the other side you have Apple. And Apple is basically taking the high horse as a privacy protector. They've been figuring out that in their business model, they're not as reliant on advertising income as their biggest competitors. And that's why they're saying, okay, let's make it harder for them to actually profit from consumer data. Now the bad news is we're actually caught in between. We're like many people running on the street when Godzilla is passing by, and it's going to have a huge impact on the way we work as advertisers. Now, this doesn't come out of the blue. It's actually something that's been going on for a longer period. Back in 2017, Apple started saying, look, on our Safari browsers, the Facebook pixel won't be able to capture all the data anymore. Now, that was just a browser, so you only saw a minor impact on your ads. Now, this iOS 14 update changes everything. Why? Apple is now saying every app that wants to be in our App Store on an Apple iPhone needs to have an opt-in pop-up for data tracking. This changes the game completely for Facebook because Facebook is losing visibility on what happens within their own app in terms of conversions and so on. So that has a huge impact in the way you can advertise in those apps and on those platforms. So the big change is Facebook needs access to data to deliver the right ads to the right people at the right time. Now, Apple changed that game. Apple basically says no company can put an app on an iPhone unless users are allowed to opt out of tracking. So normally by default, you accept the terms and conditions and you allowed everything. And if you wanted to opt out, you had to go into the details of, I don't want that to be tracked, I don't want that to be tracked, and so on. Now Apple is saying, before you open the app for the first time, you have that choice. Do you opt in or do you opt out? And they put that opt-out option as the first option. So we expect that the majority of people will actually opt out and you will be able to track a lot less data of those consumers. We expect that this will impact about 30 to 50% of your traffic, depending on your region. Apple is still the most used phone in a lot of Western countries. So be ready to see a big impact on the way results are reported in your ads manager.
Okay, so what we understand now is that there will be a limited use of data, and it will impact two areas, the tracking on one side and the retargeting on the other side. First of all, a big change is on the events. We can only choose 8 events. Facebook will track those events. So that's one thing. Then we go from a 28 days click and 1 day view to a 7-day click and 1 day view. What does it mean? When somebody clicks on an ad and then converts in the next 7 days, it will be registered. But when it's after those 7 days, it will not be registered anymore. So you can already understand that means that we will see less purchases, we will see higher ROAS, we will see higher customer acquisition. So it will affect our view and our performance. Then there is the other side, the retargeting. We are very used to create custom audiences based on the events, but as there will be only, for the people that opt out, there will be only one event that is sent through, we will also have less data about the events, and then custom audiences will be smaller. This means it's harder to create very good retargeting audiences, but it's still possible. Also, the quality of lookalike audiences will suffer a bit because it's the same reasoning. We will have less events, and that will obviously impact the audiences. Then there is the what do we have to do now question. Well, there is 3 steps that you have to do right now. First of all, verify your domain. It's really necessary to do it just right now, because if you don't do it, there is a chance that Facebook will stop your ad account. Then, as I said before, we can only have 8 events that we track. So that's something that we have to do in the event manager. We have to select those events and then prioritize them. For e-commerce, it will be very easy, as we know that purchase will be more important, and then add to cart and so on. And the last one is to install your conversion API. We are very used to have the pixel sending all the data, but now it's really important to also use another way, which is a conversion API, which works as a connection between your server and Facebook. And it's really important to get it already installed so that in the future we won't have any influences of pixels that are blocked and so on. So that are the key actions. But if you want to read in detail how to do it, how to implement them, please read the blog post that we wrote, because there is like a very detailed overview of the steps that you need to take.
So what's next? This is here to stay. Data privacy, cookies, and so on. It will only get worse. We will be able to track less and less data. So what can you do as a marketer, and especially more on the Facebook platform? One is you need to move the conversation to your own channels. CRMs will really, really win in importance, because as soon as you have a consumer data and they opt into your communication via email, SMS, Messenger, whatever, you own that conversation. You're no longer reliant on pixel data to track people, to retarget people, and to constantly invest large amounts of media budget to get in front of your audience. A second one is our data will be less reliable in the business managers, and especially on Facebook, you need a new approach. You need to test on a small scale by using dedicated landing page and dedicated coupons, so you really know what traffic converted through what ad. And as soon you know something works, an approach works, a flow works, then you need to really scale it up, but you will have less visibility on the exact nitty-gritty details of that campaign. And the third one is you need to understand and trust the halo effect of investing paid media. So we were really spoiled as marketeers. We were able to, even on scaled campaigns, track every purchase down to a single ad. That will become a lot more complicated. That doesn't mean you need to stop investing in these platforms. The more you invest, the more people hear about you, talk about you. So we suggest to also take a look at indirect CPAs. Like the direct CPAs is the conversions you can directly attribute to your campaign, but also take a look at your indirect CPAs, like what comes in and what percentage of that volume would have not come in if you just stop investing in paid media. So that's what we call the halo effect. The effect if you invest paid media, you have much more conversions than only the ones tracked by Facebook. And those will decrease. So really have a broader look at your total marketing campaign. So to summarize, leverage your CRM, really get that own channel, separate your testing campaigns and your scaling campaigns, because in your testing campaigns you can really do dedicated coupons, dedicated landing page, which you can't do at scale anymore. And then lastly, keep investing in paid media, look at your indirect CPAs and understand the halo effect of investing in paid media. 2 tips for now to end with. Our favorite CRMs and marketing automation tools are Klaviyo and ActiveCampaign. So have a look if you want to implement this. Don't hesitate to reach out to us. And that was it. The big storm coming up. We're caught in that huge fight between those gigantic monsters in the advertising space. But we really believe that the best is yet to come with new tools, a new approach. We'll be less reliant on only paid media. We will be able to leverage our own channels with the consumer, and the world will be a brighter place for us marketeers. If you've got any questions, get in touch. If you've got more, you want to learn more about this topic, don't hesitate to read our blog post and let us know what you think. Thanks.